Hey everyone, it's Laura here from makingcards2some.com, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to create a shaker card using vellum along with a lot of sequins from the ton and some beautiful wow embossing powder. So I'm starting out with a square piece of vellum that measures 3 3/4 of an inch, and I am going to add some kitchen flour to that vellum to prevent the embossing powder from sticking to areas where I don't want it. So you could also use an embossing buddy or a powder tool, but I just like to use regular kitchen flour to remove the static cling. Next, I am going to press my Versamark ink pads to the beautiful Peony Garden stamp by the ton. As you can see, this is a gorgeous background stamp with some beautiful peonies on there. So I'm just going to press down that piece of vellum so I can transfer that ink. Then I'm going to use the Atlantic Sea Spray embossing powder from Wow. This is a light blue embossing powder with some gold glitter in there. So it's just absolutely gorgeous, and it actually is more sparklier in real life than on camera. But it's just such a beautiful embossing powder and just really love it. So I'm going to tap off that excess embossing powder, and then I am going to heat set that powder, and here you can definitely see the sparkle and the shimmer and then that lovely light blue color. So I'm using my tweezers to hold that piece while I am heat setting it, just so I don't burn my fingers. And then I took a piece of fun foam and I'm going to cut some strips that measure 1/4 of an inch because I really need some thin strips. So my Fiskars Sure-Cut didn't cut all the way through, so I'm just going to use my scissors. And then I will end up with some really thin strips of fun foam that I can use to create my sequin shaker card. I'm going to adhere those strips of fun foam to that piece of vellum using my ATG by Scotch. And since this is vellum, you will be able to see the strips of fun foam through it. It doesn't really bother me, and I actually think that you're not able to see it when you don't pay attention to it. But if you would like to, you could cover that up using washi tape. So you would have to adhere some washi tape to the front of that vellum shaker piece. And then here's the part where I'm going to fill up my sequin shaker. And I filled up my sequin shaker using a lot of beads and stars and sequins by the ton, but when I closed my sequin shaker, I realized that I actually shouldn't have used all of those stars and beads because it just doesn't, you can't see the beads and the stars through the vellum. So if you would like to use some stars and beads, then I would definitely recommend creating a sequin shaker card using acetate. So if you're going to create a sequin shaker card using vellum, I just recommend using colorful sequins. So it would have been better if I just used the blue sequins, but of course I didn't think of that. So actually when I took a picture of the cards, I opened up my sequin shaker to save my precious little beads and stars because I just didn't want to waste any of them. So I'm going to close my sequin shaker using some multimedia matte, and then I'm going to press that down. I am adhering that piece onto a 4 1/4 of an inch square note card that I cut out of some wood grain cardstock, by the way. So next I am going to create the sentiment piece. I added some flour to the vellum, and then I am going to stamp a sparkle greeting from the Sparkle Stamp Set by Winnie and Walter. Going to stamp that on there using Versamark ink. I also wanted to do some embossing for that greeting, so I'm using the Silver Metallic Sparkle embossing powder from Wow. I'm going to tap off the excess embossing powder so I can easily heat set that greeting. Then I'm going to assemble that sentiment piece together. I am adding a couple of dots or drops of glossy accents, and I'm going to adhere the sparkle piece to some white glitter paper from Do Crafts. This is some beautiful glitter paper and comes in many different colors. I am also going to adhere a little strip of washi tape. This is from Lifestyle Crafts and the pack is called Shape and Tape, and this is in the black color. And then I'm also going to adhere that sparkle piece onto that washi tape using some foam adhesive. And that finishes up the card for this video. So as you can see, there's a lot of sparkle and shimmer on this card. I really love that embossing powder and that beautiful background stamp. Thank you for watching, and I will be back very soon. Bye bye.